Alright my fellow agents, welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and today my friends, once again I'm going to summarize the entire video within the first 30 seconds. The Overdogs gloves are in the general loot pool. That means you can farm for them anywhere the gloves are the targeted loot. There's also a chance you can get them by opening up exotic caches, and you also have the ability to now farm retaliation, hopefully get the blueprint. When you have the blueprint, you can actually craft a pair of Overdogs for the first time. And that, my friends, is exactly what we're going to talk about in this video, because I receive messages on a daily basis from players saying you've opened up dozens and dozens of exotic caches, you've been farming gloves non-stop, you cannot get the Overdogs to drop. So today we're hopefully going to help you get the items you've been trying to get for a very long time. So the first thing I want to say as we start this video off is that there's no guaranteed way to get these gloves unless you are using this method, okay? Even at that point, you have to get lucky, you have to get the blueprint, which you will eventually get. After you get the blueprint, you get the resources to craft these, and then you're totally good to go. Now keep in mind as I say that, this is going to hold true for any of the exotics that you can craft, but once again to be clear, the entire point of this video is going over how to get the blueprints for the Overdogs so you can craft one for the first time, because these happen to be one of those must-have exotics every single player should have. Now since the hyenas are the only faction that can drop the blueprint we're looking for, the first thing we need to do is fill up the agitation meter in retaliation for the hyenas, and you're going to do that by targeting that faction. Now thankfully you have a multitude of ways of filling up the agitation meter. You could go after missions, control points. Once again, you need to make sure they are controlled by the hyenas, and always remember that the higher the difficulty is going to fill the meter at a faster rate. Now once the meter is full, the game is going to give you a clear indication that the hyenas are retaliating. They'll let you know exactly what part of the map you need to go to. And as you can see on screen, once the faction begins to retaliate, you're going to have 6 hours to initiate the retaliation. Now that is going to change when Year 8 Season 1 begins. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Which now, my friends, takes us to the topic of how are the blueprints going to drop in the first place, and it's going to happen one of two ways. A, it's going to be from taking out kill squads, but to be very clear, you are not guaranteed any blueprint whatsoever when you take out a kill squad. And the reason I mention that is because once again, it all boils down to luck. I had a few runs where I got like 3 or 4 blueprints in one run. Then I had 3 or 4 retaliations in a row. I didn't see a damn thing, and this is playing on heroic. Now blueprints can drop on the lower difficulties as well, and coincidentally you'll see at the very end of the video I actually did get the Overdogs blueprint to drop, but it was a reward for completing a retaliation, which is the second way you can earn these blueprints. Now as I said at the very beginning of the video, you can get these gloves by opening up exotic caches, but once again they're in the general loot pool, which means when you open up an exotic cache, it could be any of the exotics that are in the general loot pool. You also have the option of playing Countdown or the Summit because you can choose your targeted loot there. And you'll hear a lot of people saying, you know what, just play Countdown, you're going to get it in no time whatsoever. And unfortunately, that is not an accurate statement, because while you may get it on the first time, you could get incredibly lucky. I hear from people on a daily basis saying they are farming Countdown non-stop until their eyes bleed. They have not had any luck whatsoever. And remember, when it comes to retaliation, you can also choose your targeted loot. So you need to keep your head on a swivel when you're playing this game mode, because exotics can also drop at any time. Hope this video helped you out, my friends, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know and I'll do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. On that note, I'm going to leave you with some gameplay footage and a few final thoughts. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.
Civilians are safe for now.
Good morning once again, my fellow agents. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far. Today's my wife's birthday. It's March 20th. So yeah, I'm getting all my videos done really quick while she's out running around doing all her birthday stuff with her friends until we have, you know, family night, all that good stuff. All right, anyway, enough of that chit chat. A few housekeeping items I want to go over really quick. First of all, when it comes to retaliation, in the new season, you'll be able to stack how many active retaliations you can, have on your map at a time. And not only that, I know I mentioned in the video, you only have 6 hours to initiate the retaliation and that clock runs nonstop. The good news is that when the new season begins, the clock is only going to be running when you're actually playing the game. That actually brings me to a very important reminder, and that is do not fill up the agitation meter for the hyenas or any faction if you're trying to farm a different blueprint until you're actually ready to play. Now, when the new season begins, I'll also bring you an updated video going over some other changes because they're also changing the countdown timer at the very end from 30 seconds to 90 seconds. I know that's a request a lot of people were asking for. But getting back to the gameplay footage, you can see by completing this on challenging, at the very bottom, my completion bonus was the blueprint for the Overdogs. Now that takes us to actually crafting them. Now, once you have the blueprint, you're also going to need some other resources, and let's make our way to the base of operations, and we're going to walk through the crafting stuff really quick. And as we fast travel, I want to mention the fact that what you're seeing on screen is the end result of about 6 hours of gameplay. Now look, I cannot play 6 hours in a row, I just don't have the time. But I'll play for an hour, do a few retaliations, and then come back to the game at a later point, rinse and repeat, until I finally get what I'm looking for. And as I said in the video, these gloves happen to be one of those must-have exotics every single player has, and I know we have the new prototype gear coming in. These are not included in the prototype gear, no exotics are going to be prototype, and I will talk about that in a video I'm posting this weekend as well. And the main reason I've chosen to put this video together right now is because, in my opinion, now's the perfect time to farm for those items that you don't have as yet that you are going to use in so many damn builds. Alright, so anyway, getting back to the crafting of the Overdogs, you can see I happen to be missing certain components. Now, chances are you will notice one of the parts you will be missing are the automated defense parts, and that is because the only way to actually farm those is by going after Black Tusk in the retaliation, but at this point, they are not included in the retaliation. That will be at the very beginning of Year 8 Season 1. However, thankfully, you do have the option of converting your broken shade watches into the parts that you need to craft the Overdogs for the first time. It's pretty user-friendly, my friends. You will see on screen exactly what you need to do. Last but not least, I want to once again remind you this weekend I will be posting a video talking about how to farm for prototype gear. I'm getting a lot of questions in regard to that. I'll give you a breakdown, just kind of a beginner's guide of how the whole thing's going to work. I'll also be posting a video on how to farm exotics, regardless of what you may be looking for. And last but not least, on Sunday I'll be posting a video going over 5 builds that in my opinion you want to have at the ready for when the new season begins. Finally, actually, please make sure the second you craft the Overdogs, mark them as a favorite, because the last thing you want to do is get something you've been trying to get for a lifetime, accidentally destroy it. Once you have them, mark them as a favorite. That way they're locked in, you're good to go. That's all I got for this thing, my friends. Thank you once again for everything, and I will see you in the next one.
Should really find time to clean and oil these tools. Don't want them to get rusty.